A man gets tased on the subway, and while some argue this was police brutality, why cops say they had no choice.
The hazy, humid conditions continue this evening. What you can expect by morning.
Great food that won't break the bank. New York Live shows us these affordable, award-winning restaurants. This is News 4 Now for July 15th. I'm Adam Cooperstein. And a confrontation on the subway is leading to controversy. Investigators say a man put officers in danger by threatening them after a dispute about not paying the fare. However, critics say police went too far. Body camera video shows NYPD officers responding to the subway incident and then deploying their taser. Those bleeped curse words are coming from the man who was tased, David Crowell. The incident happened last week at the 116th and Lenox Avenue station in Harlem. Police say Crowell refused their demands to get off that 2 train and started taunting them and appeared to threaten them. And that is when they took action. Crowell was tased and taken into custody in front of everyone on board the moving train. Police say it all started after Crowell paid his fare but opened an emergency gate for someone else to get in. That man eventually paid up, but Crowell didn't comply with officers, they say, and now there's pushback about the police response.
That response was above the top. That response was the textbook of police brutality.
With the limited knowledge that we have, which is this 1-minute video, it still appears that the force that's being used is disproportionate to what is actually being alleged here and to the actual action that they are responding to. This man does not appear to be armed in any way. He's being pulled in many different directions.
The head of the police union issued a statement saying essentially the cops did what they had to do. It said in part, insults alone don't faze us, but when they cross over into threats of violence, we need to take action. Crowell is charged with menacing, harassment, and resisting arrest. Well, right now, police want your help finding 2 women who they say attacked a worker at a Brooklyn laundromat. Police say 2 suspects went into that laundromat on East 98th Street in Brownsville to use the ATM last month. They say they weren't wearing masks and they got into an argument with a 69-year-old man who was working there. Police say they punched the man in the face, hit him in the head with a vase, and then took off. That man was taken to the hospital and he is expected to be okay. And now to a News 4 exclusive. A Bronx man believes that a dog napping from inside his home was no random act, but in fact a way to extort money from him. It's hard to make out his features, but you can see the man who took 4-year-old Sasha from that home in Baychester. David Phoebus is the homeowner. He says he was sleeping last Thursday. He woke up to find the pug gone, and before the dog was taken, he got a text from a former tenant asking for the return of a $1,300 security deposit. It reads, "Let me know ASAP or we'll proceed to send someone to get my money the hard way. You choose."
And left the apartment a complete and utter mess and wrecked the doors, holes in the walls.
David also says he got a text from a stranger named Annette saying that she bought the stolen dog for $1,500. She said she would return it for what she paid, but wanted the money up front. David doesn't think the woman is telling the truth. He believes that she was put up to it to get that security deposit back. Well, one of Lower Manhattan's most iconic spots is about to be covered in scaffolding for years. The steps of the Federal Hall National Memorial on Wall Street are a popular photo spot for tourists, but the National Park Service said today that a recent inspection found multiple failed stone conditions, and that needs repaired. So when the scaffolding is done being built, which is expected by mid-September, the steps can reopen. However, the Park Service says the scaffolding, it's going to stay for approximately 5 to 10 years. Well, the heat and humidity are back in a big way. So, Maria, when are we getting a break from this?
It is the type of heat that you don't get too much relief even at night. So once the sun goes down, it remains mild and muggy. Temperatures still in the mid-80s around dinner time, slowly falling off into the upper 70s overnight under partly cloudy skies. That humidity stays in place, so it's going to be another mild and muggy start tomorrow. 75 for the low in the city, Newark as well, White Plains into the 70s, Bridgeport too, hanging on to the mid-60s in Monticello. But because of all the ingredients still in place, a little bit warmer for the afternoon. We still have heat advisories in effect through today and tomorrow, including the city, northeast New Jersey, and Long Island. So a little bit longer before any sign that this heat will break.
Well, you may have heard of a Michelin-starred restaurant, but what about a bib gourmand? New York Live has a look at the award-winning restaurants that won't break the bank.
Each year, the Michelin Guide recognizes the most extraordinary places to dine around the world. Well, today we are headed to 2 local restaurants that made the 2021 Bib Gourmand list. Bibs are awarded to restaurants that have great food at reasonable prices. Our first stop is at Piroshek in Greenpoint, Brooklyn. Radek Alexander, congratulations, a Bib Gourmand award. How does that feel?
Feels great. I'm more happy that we're having you guys here. Happy to be here, happy to be on the map. And I would like to dedicate this award to all of our employees that are actually, they were here with us all the time during the pandemic. If not them, we wouldn't be here.
I think I read, do you really have 10 Polish women that make the pierogies?
We definitely have our traditional Polish women in the kitchen who, like Radek said earlier, without them, we wouldn't be here.
So we've now entered pierogi heaven. How many different kinds of pierogies do you have on the menu?
We have about 10 different kinds, savory and sweet.
Those are our potato and cheese pierogis. We call them Ruski pierogi. This is the biggest traditional dish that we have.
I don't get to have them often, and then I get to have really good ones. I'm so spoiled.
Alex Braddock, thank you again so much for having me today. Everything was delicious.
Thank you for visiting us.
Up next, we're in Nolita at Thai Diner. Kelly, congratulations on the Bib Gourmand.
Thank you so much.
You've been working with Matt and Ann for a decade. I mean, this has been quite a year. Thai Diner opened right before the pandemic happened.
3 weeks exactly.
People love this place. I feel like everyone I talk to that's been here, they're obsessed. And obviously Michelin is acknowledging that as well. What do you think it is that sets it apart?
I think that we're a home away from home. So the thing that we love to hear is that people just love coming into the space and they feel almost like grandma's house.
We have like every meal of the day in front of us.
Yes. So we have our Tai Chi babka French toast. So we have Tai Chi butter up front. We have some dragon fruit balls right in the center there, and then this beautiful salted condensed milk to pour right on top.
Wow.
That's life-changing.
Kelly, obviously all awards are well deserved. Thank you guys for having us today.
Thank you for coming. Kaplan Khan, we'll see you guys soon.
Pamplona, Spain has the running of the bulls, but Manhattan has the running of the goats, an event that organizers say puts the goat in Gotham. After getting canceled last year because of the pandemic, it's back. New York City's running of the goats, mesmerizing the crowd at Riverside Park.
It's not so often that you see goats coming in New York City.
These bearded barnyard animals are here to work. Think of them like walking weed whackers, gulping up all the invasive plants like poison ivy.
It's healthy for the goats and it's good for the environment. That's farm to table.
These new Upper West Side interns are a big hit with the little ones. And they all have names like Chalupa, Skittles, Buckles, and Malamar.
The goat experience was fantastic. I love animals and they were absolutely beautiful.
But who's the goat of these goats? The Riverside Park Conservancy wants you to vote. They're calling it a Vote the Goat election, just another way to bring some joy to an event that's also good for the park's habitat.
We've had a really rough year, so this is a beautiful, beautiful day and a beautiful event.
The running of the goats wouldn't be complete, though, without a jazz quartet. And a choir, yodeling, what else, but the Sound of Music show tune, The Lonely Goat Herd.
God was the voice of the lonely goat herd, it was really fun, it was cool. This event was just a hoot.
Thank you so much for joining us on News 4 Now. We'll see you right back here tomorrow.